Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear student, Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the course Introduction to Cellular Network. Today we will discuss about the modulation scheme, link adoption, and the incremental redundancy. We will also see the state diagram of incremental redundancy, also known as IR, and our last topic will be benefit of edge for both the user and the operator. So let's start. Last time we talked about the higher throughput in edge. Today we will discuss how we achieve higher throughput in edge. So let's start with the today topic, which is radio network planning. In radio network planning, we use different modulation scheme or adaptive modulation and coding scheme. In edge network, we use 9 different modulation schemes to provide different throughput, which is MCS1 to MCS9, and each coding scheme has different data rate or throughput. As you can see in this slide, MCS9 provides the higher data rate, which is 59.2 kilobits per second. As we know, total 9 modulation scheme and 1 to 4 is used for the GMSK and 5 to 9 used for 8PSK. In MCS9, maximum data rate is 59.2 kilobits per second, whereas coding rate is 1.0. The question is, what is coding rate? कोडिंग रेट मीन दैट देर इज नो रिडंडेंसी, जो एक्चुअल डाटा है हमने वही सेंड करना है और ये फैमिली ए से बिलोंग करती है. We divide different coding scheme into 3 different families A, B and C, and each family is categorized with respect to the frame size. In MCS8 data rate is less, which is 54.4, because we have to send some error protection bit or error checking bit in it, due to which its coding rate is also 0.92, and it also belongs to family A. Similar, in all other MCS we add more check bits, therefore the data rate on that MCS is low and coding bit value is decreased because of the more error checking bits. Now MCS4 provide data rate of 17.6 kilobits per second, whereas the coding rate is 1.0, and it also belongs to family C. You can see in all modulation scheme that for 8PSK data rate goes from higher to lower as we move from MCS9 to MCS5, because we insert more error checking bit in it. Similar case is for GMSK. Now if we see different families, that what the payload size of different families. You can see in this slide, in family A we have MCS3, MCS6 and MCS9. These 3 coding schemes belongs to family A. The payload of MCS3 has the maximum size of 37 octets. It means we can send 37 bytes in it. Whereas in MCS6 we can send double of MCS3, and in MCS9 it is the double of MCS6. More it double, more the data rate we can achieve. In family B we have MCS2, MCS5 and MCS7. The size of MCS2 is 27 octet. Size of MCS5 is the double of MCS2, and the size of MCS7 is the double of MCS5. In family C, we have MCS1 and MCS4. The size of MCS1 is 22 octets, whereas the MCS4 is the double of MCS1. Now, based on this coding scheme, in which MCS9 provides the higher data rate, which is 59.2 kilobits per second. So, maximum data rate based on this coding scheme that we can achieve is 8 multiplied by 59.2, which is equal to 473 kilobits per second. So maximum data rate we can achieve is 473 kilobits per second. Although GMSK is more robust, but 8PSK give more throughput. So in 8PSK, data rate is increased at the cost of decreased system sensitivity. Another advantage of edge, that in edge we can switch easily between different coding schemes. For example, we transmit a block through the high data rate and less coding rate, but we sense some problem or some exceptional failure. Then in this case we can retransmit with slightly less data rate and add more check bit into it, so that हमें दोबारा रीच ट्रांसमिशन की जरूरत ना पड़े. In case of GPRS, it is totally different. We do retransmission using the same coding scheme. In other words, we can say switching option only available for edge. It is not available for GPRS. अब हम देखेंगे कि एज में लिंक अडॉप्शन एंड इंक्रीमेंटल रिडंडेंसी कैसे होती है. लिंक अडॉप्शन को हम LA से रिप्रेजेंट करते हैं और इंक्रीमेंटल रिडंडेंसी को हम IR से रिप्रेजेंट करते हैं. Link adoption or LA module continuously monitor and measure the propagation condition and use appropriate modulation scheme and coding according to the quality of the signals. Basically, the purpose of LA is to achieve as high as possible throughput. First we use higher modulation scheme. If some failure occur, we can switch to the low modulation scheme. And this algorithm is based on the bit error probability, which is BEP. जैसे जैसे bit error probability बढ़ती जाएगी वैसे वैसे हम modulation scheme को change करते जाएंगे. Next is the incremental redundancy. In this we try to achieve high throughput. If problem occurs, we add more check bit. And this redundancy is achieved in H through R, also known as automatic repeat request, and FEC, also known as forward error correction. In the next slide, we will see how incremental redundancy, also known as IR, operate in H. First, we add only that quality of redundancy that is necessary. After that, we add more check bit mean coding rate. For example, as you can see in this slide, we use coding rate 1 in first attempt, mean there is no redundant bit or check bit. But in second attempt, we increase the redundancy bit by 1 by 2 FEC, and if problem persists and not solved, we can change the rate by 1 by 3 FEC. In this way, incremental redundancy is operated. In the next slide, we try to understand this scenario with the help of state diagram. First, we send data block, and if error is detected, then this block go to the ARC. Then ARC send negative acknowledgement or request of retransmission. After that, error detection is checked again, and if no error found, then this block is accepted. This process is continuously repeated until the block is accepted. Now, we will see the benefit of edge for operator and the network user. For operator, support of multimedia application mean it can support more number of users and operator can generate more revenue. Second is the more customer satisfaction, mean more the data rate, more the customer is satisfied. Third is the edge application. 3G application can market much earlier, which is running on edge network. And for user, quality of service is increased because of the more data rate and system response is better. Second, on edge, support of personal multimedia services is also provided. Third is the per bit cost of system is decreased and user can run multiple applications on the same cost. That is for the edge network. Till the next topic.